Have you ever been told that you're too mature for your age? Maybe people said it when you were a child. Maybe teachers praised you for being responsible, calm, and independent. From the outside, it looked like a compliment. But what many people don't realize is that children who grow up too fast often didn't choose that maturity. Life required it. Maybe you had to take care of siblings. Maybe you learned to stay quiet to avoid conflict. Maybe you became the strong one because no one else could be. Psychology shows that children who grow up too fast often develop certain traits that look unusual, but many of these traits later become powerful strengths. Here are a few psychological patterns often seen in people who had to grow up too quickly. First, they become highly observant. Research indicates that children raised in unpredictable environments become extremely aware of the emotions and behavior of others. They learn to read the room quickly. As a child, this might have meant noticing when someone was angry before they said anything, or sensing tension in the house and adjusting your behavior to avoid making things worse. You learned to watch faces, tone of voice, and small changes in mood. While this skill may have started as survival, it often becomes emotional intelligence in adulthood. You can sense what others feel even when they don't say it, and that ability can make you deeply empathetic, understanding, and perceptive. Second, they become independent earlier than others. Psychology shows that children who are given adult responsibilities too soon often develop strong self-reliance. Maybe you had to solve problems alone. Maybe you couldn't always depend on adults for comfort or guidance, so you figured things out yourself. At the time, it might have felt lonely, but that independence also builds resilience. As an adult, you may notice that you handle difficult situations calmly, you adapt quickly, and when life becomes uncertain, you trust your ability to find a way forward. Third, they often struggle to express their own needs. Research indicates that children who grow up in emotionally demanding environments sometimes learn to suppress their feelings. Maybe expressing sadness wasn't safe. Maybe you felt like your problems were too small compared to what everyone else was dealing with. So you became the listener, the helper, the one who stayed strong. While this can make you incredibly supportive to others, it also means learning later in life that your feelings matter too. The strength here is self-awareness. Once you recognize this pattern, you can start giving yourself the same compassion you've always given others. Fourth, they develop deep empathy. Psychology shows that people who faced emotional challenges early in life often become highly compassionate adults. You understand pain, disappointment, and responsibility in a way that others might not. So when someone struggles, you don't judge them quickly. You listen, you care, you try to understand. This kind of empathy is rare, and it often makes you the person people trust the most. Fifth, they carry a quiet inner strength. Children who grow up too quickly often learn something very important early in life, that life isn't always easy. But because of that, they develop patience, emotional depth, and mental endurance. You've already faced challenges that forced you to grow, and that growth becomes a kind of quiet strength. You may not always talk about it, but it shapes the way you handle life. If you were a child who had to grow up too quickly, it's important to remember this. Your maturity wasn't a flaw. Your sensitivity wasn't weakness, and the strength you built wasn't accidental. It was something you developed through experience. Yes, growing up too quickly can leave emotional scars, but it can also create people who are deeply understanding, resilient, and emotionally intelligent. People who see the world with depth. People who care deeply about others. People like you. And if this video helped you understand yourself a little bit better, make sure to subscribe MindNest Psychology for more psychology insights about personality, behavior, and the hidden strengths we often overlook.